Welcome to the Nerd Party.
Hi, this is Nick Anastasiou, story editor on Star Wars The Clone Wars and Star Wars Bad Batch. And you are listening to Aggressive Negotiations.
Hello and welcome to Aggressive Negotiations, coming at you from, I'm not even actually sure where we're from. Maybe is this a Purgle we're writing on? I'm just one of your hosts, Matthew Rushing, and with me, as he is every single week, the illustrious John Mills.
So if Purgle are space whales, are there space narwhals? That's my question.
Ooh.
And what would the difference in capability be? Does a space, like, do you have to take a Purgle to go to somewhere else, but then you have to take a space narwhal, which moves backwards back from somewhere else?
Ooh, maybe.
I'm just curious.
Or does their horn make them even better at traversing even faster through subspace?
Like it's like a directional beacon sort of thing.
Yes,
Yep.
exactly.
Okay. There we go. Space narwhals. That's our new thing.
Well, there you go. Yep. I can't wait to see it. Dave, make it happen. But you can find us all over the place. So hit us up on Twitter at the Jedi Masters. We're with the entire network at Join Nerd Party. You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/The Nerd Party. We're on Instagram at The Nerd Party. You can find us online at thenerdparty.com. So go to all those places and interact with us. But John, we were discussing this, and I think this is interesting. We've gotten the announcement about the fact that physical media is returning. And we're getting The Mandalorian season 1 and 2. It looks like season 3 is going to be released next year as well. And we're also hoping, and that means we'll get, more of the Clone Wars on, these type of things as well. Bad Batch. So why do you think all of a sudden it seems as though Disney is making this turn towards physical media again, and especially putting these things in 4K?
Honestly, I think it's because they have heard everybody's complaints. I think it's multifactorial. Let me throw this out there. I think that you and I have talked about like wanting to embrace physical media. We like owning things. And we also have talked about how we like the extras. We like holding on to things. But I'll go ahead and throw it out there. I don't think that Disney Plus is sustainable. I think that they've discovered that it's not the moneymaker they thought it was going to be, and they're going back to physical media because they got no choice. It's the only way that they're going to... think about it. If a movie bombed in the past, bomb being a relative term, let's take the one that everybody thinks was a bomb, Solo: A Star Wars Story. Solo: A Star Wars Story did have a 4K release and a 4K limited. It helps defray the costs. Nowadays, physical media is pennies to make and dollars to make in reverse, right? So your profit margin is huge, and you've created a thing where you'll get at least the completists. You'll get the people that love it. You'll get the people that want to give it another shot, all that type of stuff. Instead of having them just be part of a big pool of money, now they're giving you $40, $50.
Well, it's interesting to me because, Disney cut its teeth on physical media. And they cornered the market on how to get people to buy physical media over and over and over again. In fact, they're actually about to do it right now with they're bringing pictures out like Cinderella and Snow White, where they've gone back and cleaned up the negatives and given it a new transfer and put it on 4K, so you have the best presentation that it's probably ever looked, right? I think to me that's the thing that Star Wars also did. George did the same thing, right? He really understood from Disney how to do this. And so when you're going to give fans the opportunity to, yes, they can always have it on Disney Plus, right, where they can pull it up and watch it anytime. But to allow fans to have on their shelf beautiful steelbook editions of The Mandalorian, seasons 1 and 2, and then 3 will come, and I'm sure they'll do the Book of Boba Fett, and I'm sure we'll get Kenobi and all of these shows, right? That, yes, it becomes about, you're going to get the completists who will go out there and just buy it because even if they don't ever watch it, because it sits on their shelf. You know, you just made $50 that you would never have had because of that. And so, but I also think that they're realizing too that it's hard to keep people invested in fandom if you don't allow those things to happen.
Well, yes, absolutely. And also the act of grabbing a disc and putting it in a player, there's intent there. I have a different level of viewing than I'm just scanning the channels the way I used to scan the channels with the remote, right? So, I'll watch a piece of this. I go on the shelf. This is a special experience now. And additionally, before home video market, Star Wars got re-released and it kept adding to its box office. Well, what if there was a way you could add to the box office in a similar fashion without having to pay a distributor? It's the original streaming when you think about it. Only the price point is much higher for me. Because if you give it shiny new packaging, you talk about how great the transfer is, and here are some extras you cannot get on streaming, well, you just baited the hook for a lot of people who say, oh, yeah, but this is the anniversary edition. If they're really slick, they find a way to make talk up the presentation that this is the only way you can get a certain type of experience or a certain type of sound is only on the disc because I cannot promise you the bandwidth, the bit rate necessary to get Dolby surround sound to you.
Well, and that's, anybody who knows anything about physical media in the first place knows that it's going to be the best presentation you can get because it's uncompressed. If they do the transfer to the disc right, if they do it on a big enough disc, you're going to have the best look. I feel the same way, thinking about this idea of, what I hope comes, and they better give it to us. The Bad Batch as well as the final season of the Clone Wars are both in 4K. Now, the original Clone Wars series was not done in 4K. These seasons were. So if they don't give us those in 4K, I mean, you're basically you're leaving money on the table because you're allowed to charge a higher price point and people will pay it. But two, you're depriving us as fans the best version of those shows that deserve to be seen in that format, and that would be a travesty.
You want to make the ultimate collector's edition that would make you so much money for Star Wars fans. And I know we're in the speculative here, and I'd probably cause any company to fold with any of my ideas. So I completely, I may work in marketing, but that doesn't mean all of my ideas are good. But I would position myself to make $1.01, release an edition of the complete Clone Wars. That's fine enough. You can bait the hook with that, with long lost interviews with George Lucas from the making of and Filoni, stuff that would be really enticing to longtime fans. But additionally, you know how they love to release alternate versions of stuff? Each season, you basically double up the discs. And let's say you have season 1 through whatever. Okay, buy individual. You could even break it out and buy individual seasons, and that's all released in release order, right? So that people like me who prefer that can just do that. Release a complete set. And the discs are broken up. So you have a release order series of discs and a chronological series of discs with the movie worked in.
Yep, there you go.
You would have the Gold Rush bonanza of a lifetime. Yeah. The only one that winds up sitting completely out on its own, I think, would wind up being the final season, isn't it? Nothing is set during the earlier seasons in the final season, is it? It's been a while since I spun it up.
Yeah, no, the final season it's all after the Clone Wars ended, which was Ahsoka walking away. And because even the Lost missions, all of those took place, I think, technically.
No, because
as well for the most
Lost missions wasn't the Fives arc had
I think
certain
you're
episodes
right.
that happened earlier in chronology.
But regardless, this
but how
does
cool
allow
would that
you.
be?
I think you're absolutely right. Again, to me, I think them doing this is incredibly smart, and it makes me very, very happy. I love to see the fact that, the Mandalorian getting the 4K release. And I feel like, please, all I can say is do not negate fans' appreciation of animation and our desire to have animation in 4K by not giving us those seasons that are in 4K on that format, especially when you can see Disney at this point is doing the same thing with its original animated films,
right,
and giving us in that presentation.
Well, let me throw this out there too. It should be possible for them to upscale animation. Like, wouldn't it lend itself to upscaling even better than live action?
I mean, I'm sure you absolutely can make it happen. And again, and that's where I think, you want to do something incredibly cool and get fans like to spend $120. Give them every season of the Clone Wars. And the only way you can get it on 4K is with the entire set. I mean, who's not going to buy that?
I'm a notorious penny pincher. And I would buy that the day of release.
This is true.
I would pre-order it today if you promised it to me.
Yep.
I can talk myself out of any purchase on Earth, but that's one where I'd be like, yeah, I need that one.
Well, I just, when I think about this idea, and we were just talking about this, before we started recording, and going back to a thing that is important for every fandom, which is the feeling of ownership you have when you are able to pull out the disc and put it in and you watch that. There's something special about that, right? Like, I own the entire 4K set of all 9 Saga films because they came in a set. It's a really nice set. And it's worth owning. Because I've got them all and I've got them in the best presentation that you can have them, And so I think that's the thing to me that is exciting about this. I'm very excited that, to have the Mandalorian in this format. I've pre-ordered them. And like you said, you give fans the opportunity to do this and you're just printing money. I mean, Disney, again, learned this very long time ago. You can print money by giving people the opportunity to own things. And you can do it multiple times. So, it's that's the brilliance, I think, of this move, because people are not going to stop subscribing to Disney Plus because they own The Mandalorian on disc. Because there's still always the convenience. There's the new things that are coming out that they can still only get there, So that's going to be the case. But you're just going to be making extra money. And, if we've seen anything about Hollywood right now, is they could use a little extra money.
And given the fact that this will become relevant again, physical media becomes attractive all over again, because guess what? No commercials. How sad is it that we have to point that one out?
It's just, yep. There you go. Which is another reason that people might go out and buy these sets, because maybe they're going to a lower version of Disney Plus where they're going to have commercials now, and buying the set allows them to not have commercials when they want to watch their favorite Star Wars show. Yeah. So, it's a great thing. It's a good announcement. I think it's good for fandom, and I'm so excited that this is happening. But John, if people wanted to see what else is happening with you these days, where would they catch up with you?
Look for me online as Kessel Junkie. You should know that by now. And of course, you can find me co-hosting another show here on the network called House Lights with Tristan Riddell and Darren Moser. We have a good time with that. But also, I have been known to appear in a show over on the TFM network called the 602 Club, which I believe is hosted by you, Mr. Matthew Rushing.
Yes, it is. And you can find me there. Of course, I'm all over social media under the name Matt Rushing 02. When I'm not in the 602 Club or doing aggressive negotiations, you can find me here on the Nerd Party Network with a completed show called Owl Post, did that with Drea Kaufman, as we talked about every single chapter of the Harry Potter series. Over on the TFM network, when I'm not in the 602 Club, you'll find me on Warp 5, Literary Treks, The Orb, Saddle Up, and The Artificial Tango. But John, I hear the chimes of the the Jedi Temple, I think it's time for Ice Cream Sundae night, which I'm really excited about. So I think it's time to close these negotiations.
It's better than Lightsaber Taco Tuesday. Master rushing. Negotiations are closed.
Join the revolution. Join the Nerd Party.